Hello everyone, so welcome back again to another episode in heterocyclic chemistry. Now, in our playlist through heterocyclic chemistry and heterocyclic compounds, we have talked a lot about in different compounds. We have talked about pyrols, furans, and in our previous few videos, we have talked about the quinolines. So now in this episode, what we are going to do is we are going to discuss about isoquinolines. Now, there's a small difference between isoquinolines and quinolines. As you can see here, I have drawn the structure. In isoquinolines, the heteroatom or otherwise the nitrogen atom positions at the I would say, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at the second position. But in the case of quinolines, if you remember, this is quinolines. If I do the same numbering system here, the heteroatom or the nitrogen atom positions at the number 1 position. Okay, so the number system is wrong, right? What I wanted to highlight is the position of the heteroatom, otherwise the nitrogen atom. Only change between the quinolines. This is quinolines. This is isoquinolines. Only difference between the isoquinolines and quinolines is the position of the nitrogen atom, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to discuss about a synthesis method. This synthesis method is called Bischler-Napieralkli synthesis. So I'm very sorry if I'm pronouncing the words incorrectly. I think most of the time these words are a scientist's name. I think it's Germans, one of the German scientists. Now this is the highlight of our reaction, right? So it involves with few steps, and when we compare this reaction with our previous synthesis methods, I would say this is little bit complex, right? It's not that much complex, but there are few chemistry related things involved in this particular reaction, right? So what happens is initially acylation would happen, and then we are going to focus on the ring formation, otherwise the cyclization, then the reduction, oxidation. So we will go through each and every step and try to understand the mechanism. So we will try to understand the arrow piston diagrams, how each and every step undergoes in different conditions, right? Okay, so as usual, I have drawn the structures to minimize the time for our video. Now this is our reagent, otherwise this is our initial molecule that we are going to start with. At first, what happens is we have a carbonyl compound. So our nitrogen will go and attack to the carbonyl carbon. When this attack happens, the oxygen will gain a negative charge, as you can see here. After that, the oxygen will form again its double bond. When that happens, the chlorine will be removed as a leaving group. Then the chlorine will take a hydrogen as well. So what happens is this chlorine will leave as HCl. It will leave along with the hydrogen from a nitrogen atom. So this is the structure then we are leaving with. So this is the structure we have obtained. As you can see here, we have the carbonyl carbon and we have the methyl group. This is the methyl group, right? This Me means methyl group. CH3 group. Okay, now at our next step, what happens is, there's a lone pair on our nitrogen. So the lone pair will come over here to form a double bond. When that happens, the double bond on this carbon and oxygen will be broken, and it will go to the phosphorus to form a new bond. So when that happens, this oxygen will form a negative charge. As you can see here, this is the structure we have. The double bond is being formed. Now nitrogen has become positively charged, and a new bond is being formed between the oxygen, this oxygen here, this oxygen, and the phosphorus. This is the oxygen the phosphorus initially had, right? So it has gained a negative charge. Okay, so I hope it's clear until this point. If you have any questions, if you have any doubts, please feel free to comment below. I will try my best to answer those questions, right? Okay, now at next step, what happens is this oxygen here, it will come back to form a double bond between the oxygen and phosphorus. When that happens, one of the chlorines will be removed. So we will have our structure like this. We will have a positive charge on our nitrogen atom, and then what happens, a removal of a proton. So this hydrogen over here, it will be removed. So proton will be removed, so nitrogen will regain its neutral form, and also it will regain a lone pair. So the phosphorus part is stays same. Now in this case, what happens, the nitrogen will form another bond between nitrogen and carbon. When that happens, you will see that this carbon on the middle, right, it is getting destabilized, because when another bond is formed between this nitrogen and carbon, this carbon is taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bonds. You know, carbon is not usually taking more than 4 bonds. It's getting destabilized, so it has to break one of its bonds. With the available possibilities, only possible bond that it can break is carbon oxygen bond. So it will be broken like this, and we will have our structure similar to this. Now nitrogen is gained a positive charge, and after that what happens is the cyclization. So this bond over here, it will come and attack to our carbon, and one of the bonds will come back to the nitrogen to give its neutrality. Then we have formed our cycle, or otherwise we have formed our 2 rings. As you can see here, we have a nitrogen, we have formed a new bond between this carbon and this carbon. Now I hope you know that there's a hydrogen on this place, right? So we have chloride ions in our medium. So chloride ion will attack one of the hydrogen on this position, and this lone pair will come over here to form a double bond. So removal of a proton will happen on this step. So we will have one of the rings, right? One of the ring has regained its aromaticity in this particular state. And then what happens is the oxidation, a new double bond will be formed between these 2 carbons. So we will have our isoquinolines. So there are few key points that you have to be focused on, especially on this phosphorus related steps, that they are very crucial. You have to be very careful when it comes to the positive charge is forming, negative charge is forming, how each bond breaks. So around these 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, this is very crucial. So if you can understand these 3 steps, I think 90% of the mechanism is fine to you. So my advice to you is try this mechanism or write this mechanism yourself for few times, maybe 5 times, right? So you may be able to grab this, or you may be able to understand this mechanism pretty much well. So if you have any questions, if you have any doubts, please feel free to comment below. I will try my best to answer those questions. And a special key point in this reaction is the yield. So as you can see here, the yield for this particular reaction is around 93%, which is relatively good when it compares to the organic reaction. So that's why this synthesis reactions for isoquinolines is very famous and very important. So for your exams, this is a very famous mechanism that might be seen in your exam. So I would advise you to give a little bit more focus for this mechanism, and all the best for exams. I hope you are doing it well, and try this mechanism for yourself. It's not that hard, it's not that complex. If you write this mechanism on yourself for like maybe 5 times, I'm pretty much sure you will you will grab it. So all the best for your exam. So we will meet on our next video. Thank you.